Okay, everybody, welcome to the cooking video with Guru. Today we're gonna learn how to cook basmati rice or any type of rice for that matter. So first and foremost, any type of rice you get, you want to make sure you wash it. Why you want to wash it? We'll know that in a minute. So for measurements, for the beginning, you want to, if you want to use any type of glass or bowl or whatever you have. So let's say for this instance, I'm using this one whole glass of rice. So if we're using one glass of rice, so to cook the rice, we're gonna need 1.5 glass of water. So whatever bowl or cup or mug you use for measurement, you want to make sure you have 1.5 times the water. That's always, I've seen some packaging that you can have two. You can have two, but then it gets really tricky to cook with double the amount of water. So 1.5, for me at least, it works perfect. So let's get into washing the rice. All right, we're gonna start washing the rice. Turn on the water, and then let's see why we need to wash it. So you're gonna put all the rice in here. I'm gonna rinse all of that. That's in the glass, and then the stuff is sticking. All right, so for people who don't like to wash rice, I'm going to show you something that you're going to want to wash rice after this. Because if you don't wash rice, take a look. This is what it looks like. So when you're washing rice, let the water run. Drain that water. Just like that. And then you're going to refill and then do the same thing. Some people like to use a strainer. That's fine. I work fine without a strainer, so I don't need a strainer to strain the rice in the water. So once again, same thing. So you can count, we've already washed it twice. And the third time. And take a look, it's still cloudy. We're going to keep washing it until the water is not clean. So that was 4 times. Usually by the 7th time, it gets pretty clear. So if you don't want to use it more than 7, that's fine. But once you start washing it, so that was 5. More water. It doesn't matter if you want to use hot or cold water. It doesn't really matter. That's 6. This is the 7th time I'm washing it. Huh. Guess you guys can't see what I'm doing here. And after washing the 7th time, oops, saved some. Take a look. You can kind of see the rice now. So if you're gonna go 8, 9, and 10, that's fine. But you gotta do at least 7 times. So at least most of that gunk is out. And then it also makes a lot of difference in taste. So, which is really important. Because one of the reasons we also eat for is taste. We want food to taste good. So that's good enough for me. As you can see, I can see the water, the rice through the water. And then I'm going to leave a little bit of water in there just because, keep them soaked. All right, everyone, gonna show you some spices that we're gonna use for cooking rice. And this is just basic rice. We're not gonna add any special stuff to it. So just some, so what we have here is, these are not bay leaves, these are curry leaves. black cardamoms, green cardamoms, we have cloves, and we have cinnamon stick, right? And along with that, we have our cumin seeds. Actually, not the powder, we have the seeds. So that's what we're gonna use. And you want to add oil to the pan, and also you want to get your water ready. So 1 glass, and then we have half, a little over than half, because then we got to make up for that empty space I left in the other glass. So looks like the oil is hot right now. So I'm going to turn the gas over to maybe a 5 if you're using electric. And except for the leaves, because they burn quickly, I'm going to add everything else. Let's save the leaves for a second here. There we go. You're going to start hearing this popping sound, which is okay. So you want these cloves, these cardamoms, and these leaves. Oh, not the leaves, but the black cardamoms to kind of like start popping open with the heat. That's when you know it's time. And then as far as the oil is concerned, you can use any type of oil you want. I would say for this much rice, I probably used 2 to 2.5 tablespoons, if I have to guess. Like I said in my old videos, I don't measure like how much. I just know how much. All right, I'm gonna wait for it to warm up. And while it's doing its thing, and even before it's doing its thing, you want to make sure you have everything ready. You have your water ready. Oh, there we go. It's starting to pop. So this is a crucial step here. I'm gonna take some cumin. I'm gonna say about this much. I don't think we need any more than this. I'm gonna move it a little over from there. Whoa! And we're gonna add the cumin. And as soon as you add it, you want to add water. There we go. Add water to it. Let the water come to a little boil. And then one thing I forgot to mention is salt. I'm going to say about 1/4 tablespoon. You're going to add. And you're going to mix it really nicely. And you want to wait for this water to start boiling. When it starts boiling, that's your indication of adding the rice in. So, and you can use any kind of cooking utensils for this. I'm using a big wok. You can use a cooker, anything you want. It just doesn't really matter. As long as you can find a lid for it, that will kind of like seal it. You can use anything. Doesn't really matter. You don't need to have a rice cooker. I've never seen a rice cooker or used a rice cooker. I may have seen a rice cooker not knowing it's a rice cooker, but yeah, that's not that. Yeah, we're not gonna worry about that right now. So let's just wait for it to do its thing. Oh, and in all the hurriness, guess what I forgot? Curry leaves. So these puppies should have added them earlier, but there we go. Gonna do it right now. It's gonna be okay. They're just leaves. We'll get what we need out of them with the boiling water, and then it's gonna get cooked here in a minute. So we're gonna be okay. Okay, it looks like it's doing its thing. We're gonna get that little bit of water that we left in there to soak the rice out, and we'll bring it in. This is when we put all the rice in there. There we go. You can use your hand to get all that rice out of there. Put it in here. This might take you a minute, but that's okay. Not like you got anything else to do other than cooking rice. I mean, for the moment, you don't. Focus on the rice. Focus on the cooking. There we go. I think I did pretty good. Oh, left one in there. All clean. So, that's done. We're gonna give it a good mix. And right now what you want to do is basically wait for the water to start boiling again. And you can leave the spatula or whatever you want to call this thing. I call it a big spoon. That's what I call it. I don't know what the formal name of this thing is, and there's rice sticking to it. I don't want rice sticking to it. There we go. As you can see, the water is starting to boil. You can kind of leave it alone and let it boil. The idea is to have this water evaporated while it's cooking the rice. And we're going to get it down to a point, which we'll know here in a minute. Then we'll shut the gas off and then move it over, because this is electric gas. Electric stove we're using. So we want to move it off to a cooling station once we're ready. If you have a gas stove, you can just turn it off and leave it on there. It'll be okay. So we're going to let it simmer. Probably going to take about 4 or 5 minutes for the whole water to go, depending on how much you're cooking. If you're cooking less, if you're cooking more, it's going to take more time. So, and you don't have to keep stirring it. You can leave it as it is and then stir every once in a while. Oh man, I wish you could smell this right now. It smells really good. And this is just, like I said earlier, cumin rice that we're cooking. We can do another video tutorial later how to cook the rice with peas, potatoes, and yellow rice and sweet rice, and add tomatoes to it, onions to it, and all that stuff. Or how to make a biryani and all that. Yeah, we'll work on that later. I was at a 7 on my burner. I brought it down to a 5. And my way of checking it is I kind of like peel over the rice and I can still see the water, as you can see right here. And if I can still see it, that means I can still leave it in here. And at this point, this is when I like to stir, because I want that water to evaporate, and I can see the bottom, that if I do this, there's still water there. So now you can do one of the two things, because you're on an electric stove. This would be a good time turn it off and cover. Look at that. Evaporation and condensation. I sound like my science teacher. Right? Because this is where it happens. The water evaporates, it's on the top, and eventually it's going to go down. And then when it does that, this is what we call condensation. I hope I'm right. At least that's what I remember. If that's not right, blame my teacher. So while it's doing that, I think it's kind of want to check on it to make sure we're doing good. Looks like we're doing good. And I'm just going to move it from here to here. And we're going to wait, I'm going to say about 10 minutes for it to get done. Okay, and so we'll come back after 10 minutes and then we'll see how we did. All right? See you in a bit. All right, let's check it out. Take this. Ooh, look at that. This would be a good time to pick out the curry leaves. Just take them out, and then cloves, black cardamom. You can put them to the side and then pick them out right here, because eventually they all come to the top once you're done. So the steaming process helps with cooking of the rice, and it locks the moisture in. That's why we like, after we're done, we lock it in. Pick it out with hand. It's all good. Yeah, they're kind of warm. They're not that hot, so you can pick it by hand, but at your own risk. Don't blame me after if you burn your hand. Because I was doing it, you gotta do it, you know. No, you don't. Use a spoon, use a fork, because the rice is still hot, while all this may not be. I'm gonna put this on the side here. All right. There you have it, folks. That's how it's done. That's how you make rice. Any type of rice. But this is the fundamental. And then in the later videos we'll go over how to make the other rice. If you have any special requests, let me know. We'll make it happen. Won't make it happen tomorrow, but we'll make it happen. At this time, you want to give it a good mix, because you leave it in there too long and you don't mix it, that's when you're gonna get sticky rice, because all that moisture that's locked in is eventually gonna go away, right? It's not gonna stay there forever. So this time will be a nice time to give it a good mix, air it out, and look at that. Look how white that rice is. And I'm about to go and enjoy. I hope you make it too and you enjoy. And then, you know, here, found another one. We're gonna take it out. All right, we'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye and take care.